All right, let's be honest for a second. How long do you think sex usually lasts? 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe more? Now, what if I told you the reality is a lot different than what most men believe? In fact, the actual global average might surprise you. Today, we're going to break this down with real stopwatch-timed data, so you'll finally know the truth about sexual performance. Not the Hollywood version, not locker room exaggerations, but the science. And before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments. I read everyone. And if you care about men's health, confidence, and relationships, hit that like button and subscribe, because here we talk about the things most men are too embarrassed to ask their doctors about. Here's the truth. Most men have a completely distorted idea of how long sex should last. Why? Because of movies, social media, and even casual conversations with friends. Everywhere you look, you see this idea that lasting 20, 30, or even 60 minutes is the gold standard of masculinity. But the science tells a very different story. When researchers actually timed couples during intercourse, the real average was way shorter than you'd expect. And that's not a bad thing. It's normal, it's healthy, and in fact, it may be exactly what your partner needs. So let's dig into the data, clear up the myths, and then I'll share the most common habits and mistakes that affect how long you last, plus what you can do to build confidence in your performance. For those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Dr. Narita. I'm a board-certified urologist, and for the past 12 years, I've specialized in men's health, intimacy, and performance. Every single week, I meet men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond who carry silent worries about this exact topic. The good news? With the right information, perspective, and simple changes, those worries can often melt away. And today we're going to talk through it all, openly, respectfully, and based on science. Let's start with the stopwatch studies. Then we'll break down the 5 habits and mistakes that can affect performance over time. In a landmark study of more than 500 couples across the globe, researchers asked each couple to use a stopwatch during sex. Specifically, they measured what's called IELT, that's the intravaginal ejaculation latency time. In plain English, the time from penetration to ejaculation. Here's what they found. The average duration worldwide was 5.7 minutes. Yes, less than 6 minutes. Some men lasted only seconds. Others lasted nearly an hour. But the bulk of men, right around that 5 to 7 minute window. Country to country, the averages shifted. In Turkey, it was about 4.4 minutes. In the UK, almost 10 minutes, the longest of the group. Now, think about that for a second. If you've been stressing because you only last 7 or 8 minutes, you're not falling short. You're actually above average. But here's where things get interesting. While men often believe the ideal duration is around 15 to 20 minutes, surveys of women suggest something different. In one large poll of over 4,000 women, the most common preference was closer to 25 minutes of total penetration. Now remember, this is preference, not performance reality. And importantly, it doesn't even account for foreplay, emotional connection, touch, or intimacy outside penetration, all of which matter just as much, if not more, for overall satisfaction. Okay, so we know the averages, but what actually shapes how long you last? Let's go through 5 habits and mistakes that make the biggest difference, biologically, emotionally, and practically. Mistake number 1, training your body for speed. Many men don't realize that how you usually stimulate yourself conditions your body. If most of your solo experiences are quick, maybe rushed because of privacy concerns, stress, or habit, you're essentially training your nervous system for a sprint, not a marathon. Biologically, over time, your brain develops a reflex to release quickly. Your pelvic floor muscles and nerves reinforce that fast finish pathway. Emotionally, this can create performance anxiety in real intimacy because your body is wired to respond in seconds, while your partner may need more time. Practically, the fix is practice, slow, mindful self-stimulation, techniques like edging, where you build arousal, then back off before climax, and breath control. You can retrain your body to last longer, but you have to change the way you practice. Mistake number 2, ignoring stress and mental load. Performance isn't just physical, it's psychological. Stress, worry, even financial or family pressure can shorten duration dramatically. Biologically, stress raises cortisol and adrenaline, both of which interfere with arousal and ejaculation control. Emotionally, if your head is full of racing thoughts, it's nearly impossible to stay present. This creates a cycle. Stress leads to performance issues, which creates more stress. Practically, simple relaxation practices, deep breathing, mindfulness, exercise, even something as simple as a pre-intimacy walk can shift your nervous system back into balance. Mistake number 3, skipping foreplay. Here's the truth. Penetration is only one part of intimacy. When men rush straight to intercourse, they put pressure on themselves to last longer, but often neglect what their partner needs most. Biologically, women's arousal cycles typically take longer than men's. More foreplay means better lubrication, blood flow, and comfort, which translates to more satisfaction regardless of how long penetration lasts. Emotionally, prioritizing connection over the stopwatch reduces anxiety and builds confidence. Practically, think of foreplay as part of the total experience. If penetration lasts 6 to 8 minutes, but foreplay is 15 to 20 minutes, suddenly you're in the sweet spot of what many women prefer, 25 minutes total. Mistake number 4, poor physical conditioning. Sex is physical activity. If your cardiovascular system or pelvic floor muscles are weak, you'll struggle with stamina and control. Biologically, weak pelvic muscles contribute to premature release. Poor circulation reduces erectile strength and staying power. Emotionally, feeling physically unprepared undermines confidence, and confidence is half the battle. Practically, Kegel exercises, regular cardio, and strength training improve both endurance and confidence. You don't need hours in the gym. Even brisk walking plus targeted pelvic floor exercises can make a difference within weeks. Mistake number 5, comparing yourself to unrealistic standards. This might be the most damaging mistake of all. Measuring yourself against unrealistic numbers from media, porn, or stories from friends. Biologically, comparison creates performance anxiety, which shortens duration. Emotionally, it chips away at dignity and self-esteem, making intimacy a source of stress rather than joy. Practically, reframe your goal. The question isn't, how long did I last? It's, did both of us leave this experience feeling satisfied and connected? That's the number that matters. So, what's the best action plan if you're concerned about duration? Track your reality. Instead of guessing, actually time yourself for a few experiences. Many men are surprised to learn they're right in the normal range. Retrain your nervous system. Use edging, slower self-stimulation, and mindful breathing to build endurance. Strengthen your foundation. Add pelvic floor exercises and basic fitness routines to improve stamina. Prioritize connection. Focus less on penetration time, more on the whole intimacy experience. Foreplay, touch, and communication all count. Seek support if needed. If you're dealing with premature ejaculation, erectile difficulties, or loss of desire, don't be ashamed. Urologists like me see this every day, and there are effective treatments. Here's what I want you to remember. Lasting 5 to 7 minutes is not failure. It's actually average worldwide. You're not broken, you're not inadequate, and you're certainly not alone. If intimacy feels shorter than you'd like, there are simple, proven ways to improve it. But even more importantly, sex is about connection, not the stopwatch. Some of the most fulfilling experiences are shorter in minutes, but deeper in meaning. Your value as a man is not measured in numbers. It's measured in presence, care, and the confidence you bring to your relationship. So let's set down the stopwatch, my friend. Instead of chasing an imaginary number, start chasing connection, health, and confidence. Those are the things that last a lifetime. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to this channel, and share it with a friend who might need a little encouragement. I'm Dr. Narita, and for 12 years, I've been helping men just like you improve their health, intimacy, and quality of life. Remember, age is not the end of vitality. Small changes bring freedom, comfort, and confidence. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video.